Hello and welcome to the Victorious Living Solutions podcast. I'm your host, Nikeya Young. Today's show is called Say Something, the power of your voice. The power of your voice. All right, y'all, so let's get into it. I was reading the text that I'm going to be talking about today, and it comes from Exodus chapter 3, that whole chapter really. But just to give you a synopsis, this is when God is getting ready to bring the children of Israel out of slavery because they just been in bondage, y'all. Pharaoh been tripping. Like, God is like, I'm over it. I'm about to raise up my leader, Moses, and he's going to be the one that is going to lead my people out of Pharaoh's control. So I have my Bible over here in case you guys are like, what is she looking at? I have my Bible. So basically, this is the chapter 3 sets up where Moses goes by and he sees this burning bush. It's burning and it's burning and it's burning, but it doesn't burn up. So he's like, what is that about? Let me go take a closer look. And just the fact that he decides to take a closer look at this very suspicious bush shows that he had some crazy faith. Because myself personally, I would have ran or did anything but go closer to something that burns but doesn't burn up. I would have been spooked out of my mind, right? But Moses goes over to this bush and his curiosity leads him into a supernatural encounter with God. And so God just speaks to him. Okay, first of all, the bush is burning and it doesn't burn up. All right, that's number one. Hello, freak out. Number two, God speaks in an audible voice. This voice comes out of this burning bush like, whoa, crazy faith, right? So he's encountering all of this immaculate, crazy faith experience with God. And let me go ahead and read this to you guys in chapter 3. The angel of the Lord, this is verse 2, appeared to him in flames of fire from within a bush. Moses saw that though the bush was on fire, it did not burn up. So he goes and he checks it out. Verse 5, do not come any closer, God said. Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground. Then he said, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. At this, Moses hid his face because he was afraid to look at God. So God lays it out. I have indeed seen the misery of my people in Egypt. I have heard them crying out because of their slave drivers, and I am concerned about their suffering. So I have come down to rescue them from the hands of the Egyptians and to bring them up out of that land into a good and spacious land, a land flowing with milk and honey. Okay, so all this is great news. God is going to bring them into this spacious place, this spacious land. They're going to be free from the Egyptians, all that. Moses is like, oh, cool. And then verse 9, and now the cry of the Israelites has reached me, and I have seen the way the Egyptians are oppressing them. So now go. I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt. And so now Moses is like, wait, hold up. Wait a minute. What? I was with you up until you said, now go. You pointing at me. You mean me, Moses? Is there somebody else out here? Does anybody else hear this bush talking to them? I could have swore God said for me to go. What am I supposed to do about the situation, right? And he says, Moses says to God, who is talking to him through a flaming bush, who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt? And God said, I will be with you, and this will be the sign to you that it is I who have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you will worship God on this mountain. So Moses is still just like, okay, hold up. So suppose I go to the Israelites and I say to them, the God of your fathers has sent me to you. And they ask me, well, what's his name? Then what am I going to tell them? I'm paraphrasing, but y'all get it. So God said to Moses, I am who I am. This is what you are to say to the Israelites. I am has sent me to you. So Moses got like 1,000,000,001 excuses, y'all. He like, hold up. Okay. All right. So what if I say that and then God is just like, okay, Moses, I got you. Say to the Israelites, the Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob has sent me to you. This is my name forever, the name you shall call me from generation to generation. Go assemble the elders. I mean, like God is just giving him all kinds of instructions. Go do this, bring the elders in, tell them, I sent you, blah, blah, blah. So now let's skip down a couple of verses. And God says, I know that the king of Egypt will not let you go unless a mighty hand compels him. So I will stretch out my hand and strike the Egyptians with all the wonders that I will perform among them. And after that, he will let you go. So let's pause for a minute, okay? Because we have a lot happening here. God is telling Moses some very key things that are going to happen. And there's a group of people that has a great need. The Israelites. They have been enslaved forever. And because of that, God has sent a deliverer. And the reason this text stuck out to me in relation to today's topic, say something, is because there is someone somewhere that needs something to help pull them out of the bondage that Satan has them locked up in. But you have to go out and say something that God puts in your mouth, something that God directs you to say, something that God directs you to do. And you are literally the key to unlocking the bondage that is on their life. But most of the time we do like Moses. Like God is like, go, I want you to go here. I want you to go that. I want you to start that podcast. I want you to write that blog. I want you to do this, that, and the other. And we just like, hold up, wait. But who am I to do that? I don't have enough experience. I don't have money. I don't have whatever the excuse is. We have a bazillion excuses. And God is just like, yeah, okay. He's trying his best not to go off on Moses, I feel, when I read this, because he's just rattling off all these instructions because time is of the essence. These people need to get free. And Moses is sitting here talking about, I don't know how to talk. God, I have a stuttering problem. And can you just send somebody else? He literally says that. So for the rest of chapter 3, Moses and God are having this back and forth. And then we go to chapter 4 and because Moses is still giving God excuses. And so in verse 10 of chapter 4, Moses says to the Lord, okay, pardon your servant, Lord, but I have never been eloquent, neither in the past nor since you have spoken to your servant. I am slow of speech and tongue. So God, I have a stuttering problem. And God didn't know that before he told him. God is looking at him like, I made you. I knew that already. But I still want you to be the person, you, Moses, to go and deliver these people. So we're not telling God anything about ourselves that he does not already know. He knows everything about us, our past, our present, what we're going to do in the future before we even do it. And he's not fazed by any of that. God still has a purpose and a distinct calling for us. And he wants to use our voice. And I'm saying voice because we're created in the image of God. And if you look at how everything in the world was made, God spoke it into existence. And then it was. Whatever he spoke, that's what it was. And for us, as believers created in the image of God, we have that same creative power in our tongue. And so it is very important for us to speak, and not just to speak anything, but to speak the word of God. Y'all like this? I got my son's Bible. But to speak the word of God and to decree things and to have faith that the things we're decreeing shall come to pass. So each of us have unique gifts and talents and personalities and all of that fun stuff that comes together that makes us who we are. And so the way I say something is going to be different than the way you say it, or than the way whoever you can think of your favorite speaker. A lot of us may have our favorite motivational speakers or preachers or teachers or what have you, and we all like those people for different reasons. And so when we think about the prospect of going out and saying something, if we're thinking of it in terms of those people that are in the back of our minds, that may seem really intimidating. Like, oh, I'm not as good as such and such. I don't have that kind of experience. I don't have. And we go rattling off all the things that we don't have. And God is just like, enough. I don't want to hear it. There's a lot that you do have. And I need you with whatever you have. Because what you have is going to speak to a certain kind of person or a certain group of people that T.D. Jakes or Sarah Jakes Roberts or, I don't know, Lisa Nichols, those are just some of my favorite speakers. But I have something they don't have, just like they have something I don't have, right? We all have something unique. So let me just read you what God says to Moses after this latest excuse. Then the Lord said to him, "Who gave human beings their mouths? Who makes them deaf or mute? Who gives them sight or makes them blind? Is it not I, the Lord? Now go." God's just like, go on. I'm done talking to you, right? "I will help you speak and I will teach you what to say." Let's pause there. I will help you speak and I will teach you what to say. That is a step that we cannot skip, you guys. So a lot of us are in the field of speaking, life coaching. I'll just stop at those two. If you go on Clubhouse, almost every Clubhouse bio that you read, the person is a speaker or a life coach. Like, it's really intimidating. There are so many people out there that do that. And so it's going to be important for you, whether you're a speaker or a life coach or an author or a blogger or whatever, or a vocalist even, whatever capacity that God has given you to use your voice, whether it be through spoken word or written word or singing, you are going to have to trust the Lord to give you what to say. That means you're going to have to spend time in his presence. You're going to have to commune with him. Like Moses communed with him. Like they had a full out dialogue conversation with a bush on fire. Okay, so it was a little different. But they had conversations. And so because Moses was not able to speak eloquently and he knew that those were his shortcomings, he didn't have a degree in communications. He didn't have all of the things that you think you should be able to have to go and talk to someone of Pharaoh's caliber. And God did not care. And so there's nothing wrong with getting training, with taking classes, with doing what you need to do to be excellent. But please note this: God is going to have you speak some things and do some things right now. Right now, as you're working your way to the next level and the level after that and the level after that and the level after that, you have to start somewhere. And don't be so consumed with getting every duck perfectly lined up in a row. Okay, I gotta get my ducks just right. Okay, almost. Okay, I'm gonna start as soon as I get that duck right there. God is just like, now go. He says that repeatedly. I love that. Go, Moses. Like, I'm done. I'm done talking to you. I'm done explaining. We have people who need deliverance. And that same message from all the way back then in the Old Testament is true today. Whatever your excuses are, God is saying, I don't even want to hear it. I have people out there who need you right now. Your voice has power. So say something, and don't just say anything. Pray and say what God tells you to say. He is going to give you something specific for this time, for the tribe of people that he's called you to. Don't get so caught up in all the noise and all the hullabaloo of what everybody else is doing on social media. God may have you use some of those strategies, but he may also download something into you that has never been done before in the earth. You never know what God will do. So get in that prayer closet and then come out roaring like a lion and say something, baby. The world needs to hear it. Thank you for tuning in.